tenderly Jesus is calling, calling for you and for me. See on the portals he's waiting and watching, watching for you and for me. Come home, come home, ye who are weary, come home. Earnestly, tenderly, Jesus is calling, calling, O sinner, come home. Why should we tarry when Jesus is pleading, pleading for you and for me? Why should we linger and heed not his mercies, mercies for you and for me? Come home, come home, ye who are weary, come home. Earnestly, tenderly, Jesus is calling, calling, O sinner, come home. Oh, for the wonderful love he has promised, promised for you and for me. Though we have sinned, he has mercy and pardon, pardon for you and for me. Come home, come home, ye who are weary, come home. Earnestly, tenderly, Jesus is calling, calling, O sinner, come home.
Someday we'll roll away the stone we have carried for so long, and all our burdens will be gone. I can't wait. We'll find our way to an understanding of all views, and no prayers will be refused. I can't wait. Seems we have gone too far, now we don't know where we are. I believe we'll find a guiding star. I can't wait. Faith is the final place where all fears have been erased. The locks have fallen from the gates. I can't wait. Someday we'll roll away the stone that we have carried for so long, and all our burdens will be gone. I can't wait.
Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Vespers. We're so glad that you have joined us this evening, a chance when we can be together and when we can be reminded that wherever we are, that we're not alone, that the presence of Christ is still with us. So we light this candle this evening, celebrating the presence of Christ, who is in us, among us, and beyond us. Remembering all of those in our family of faith who are suffering and who need our comfort and prayers as well. Today, we honored the life of Shirley Flynn. I got to see several of you folks outside and masked at Camp Nelson, and even as we mourn the loss of friends, I also feel such a blessing to be in this legacy that still flows from all that has been given over the years, this beautiful community of faith that has been created by so many folks, not just those who have gone on ahead, but those who are still here with us and among us, the kind words, the cards, the hugs, the chats that we have in the hallways at church or outside. So many of those acts of kindness, even those emails and those cards that are being sent even now, those Zoom meetings, these things help to change us, help to remind us that we are part of a beloved community. And so many folks in this congregation that I look at the lives that have been led and I think, man, that's how to do it. And so many wonderful examples of loving and kind and wise persons in our congregation. So I'm so grateful for this family of faith, and continue to look forward to times when we can maybe see each other in person again. I do have a question, though, as I was looking at my phone here. Isaac, what is a dogwood winter? I have never heard that term before, although I think I get the idea, but I feel like I'm learning this evening, so you gotta let me know what the correct definition of that is. Anyway, but yeah, it's kind of a dreary day out there today, but I am so grateful to be in this place with you all right now. Not necessarily my basement place, but this spiritual place that we have entered into together. So thanks for being here this evening. We have the chance tonight to talk with Lucy and Mark Thomas. We recorded this earlier today, so Kanan was in school and he didn't get a chance to talk with us. But they've been at Central for several years now. Actually, their second time around at Central. We'll hear a little bit about that later. Lucy is a runner, a knitter. I just found out today, a hardware store enthusiast. She's a fixer of all things around the house, and she's a writer too. And after years as a professor, Mark has just finished his MDiv at BSK, and he's going to graduate in just a bit. He's also the pastor out at Newtown Christian Church, and we are so excited to get a chance to talk with them this evening, to hear about their journey that has led them to Central a couple of times now, and to get to hear about how they have been doing during this time as well. So let's go talk with Mark and Lucy. Hey, Lucy and Mark. How are you all doing?
Great.
You're doing great, Aaron. How are you?
Good. It's so good to see you all. I'm so glad that you've taken the time out to hang out with us, and it's great to get to see you and to hear a little bit about how things have been going for you all. So, in this ever-changing pandemic that we find ourselves in, and now this stage, I don't even know what to call this stage. I don't know where we're at anymore. How have things been going for you all lately? What have you all found yourselves doing?
Not bad.
Not bad. Doing okay, and I think things are better now that Kanan is back in school and he's got track, and so that's going well, and kind of gives us a little bit more of a schedule, maybe, or it feels more normal. I'll say that. So
yeah,
that's good. Yeah.
That's good.
I was able to get my second vaccination yesterday, so
that's
the
great.
shoulder's a little sore. And
that's
Lucy will be getting hers next week, hopefully.
Yeah, I've got to get that set up and that's a good feeling though to get those done.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Are you? Are you Pfizer or Moderna?
I'm Pfizer.
I'm Moderna.
Really? That's it. So that's what Melissa and I are the same way, and so we're like, oh, we have our own little study here, you know.
Yes.
Right.
Well, that's good. So, well, I hope you all don't have too many symptoms. Just the right amount of symptoms, whatever your antibodies need to do. But but it is a good feeling, isn't it, to be able to say, okay, well, there's some protection here.
It is, and I mean, just to see the operation, you know, it's almost a spiritual experience. To think of all those volunteers and all the research that went into the vaccine, and just to produce this gift to save life. It's amazing, you know. The Lexington Fayette Health Department, when it was at Consolidated Baptist Church, that's where Lucy's been going. And, you know, just to think about that church offering their space to the community for that.
Yeah.
It's a big thing.
It really is. So much time and effort, so many different hands to make sure all this happens. It really is. When I went in to get my vaccine, I saw Cindy Abernathy. I walked in. I was like, "Well, it's Cindy. Hi," you know. And so it was nice to see a friend and to see a friendly face there as I walked in, and you know, it's and I really hadn't thought about how much of a spiritual experience it was, even though I felt that. I really hadn't reflected on it like that. It really is. It's beautiful to see that, and to see that happen like that too. So, well, tell us a little bit about how you made it to Central. Give us a little bit, like you know, of your journey, because I know you guys have traveled a lot. You lived in different places too. I think most recently you all were at Houston before you came back to Lexington, right? So, or near about there. So yeah, tell us a little bit about how you got to Central.
Well, it's kind of a weird, convoluted journey to Central, because it's our second time being connected with Central. We actually joined Central years ago, right after we first got married. And Central was a really special place for us because it was the first congregation that we were able to choose ourselves, because it was a place where we could be authentically faithful. And so way back, I still had a year left in college, and Lucy had just graduated from Georgetown College.
It's 1988.
And wow. Did you hear that?
Is that the cat?
I hope that wasn't the cat.
Not the cat. I don't know what that was.
Do you need to go check on something?
I'll go check.
Maybe
I
we
can
should check
guess.
it out in the store. We're out here in the rural part of the county, so you sometimes hear weird things. Birds sometimes fly into the windows. We have a lot of birds. But Central was really special because it was, you know, a place where it really just felt like a home for us. It was just for a year. And then we moved away. We moved to Waco, Texas. We lived for a year in Singapore. We came back, lived in Houston. We lived in Norman, Oklahoma. We moved to Bryan College Station, Texas for 15 years. And then we moved from there back to Lexington and found our way back to Central.
Wow, that's a lot of places.
And we're in the home place where Mark grew up, so on the 10 acres. And I don't know if he mentioned that, you know, I was from Paris, just down the road. So it's good to be back in the area and here, putting down roots again. And
oh, well, that's great. Yeah,
that's the way that was the bird that hit our window. So
is it okay?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, the wonders of living in the country.
Yeah.
Well, that is an amazing story. Just all the different places you've been. Singapore stands out too. I didn't know that. I don't think I knew that you had lived in Singapore for a while. So I knew you'd been there, but I hadn't. I don't think I'd realized that you'd lived there too. So that's awesome.
Yeah, we were there for an academic year. I was studying at the university there, and that was just an unbelievable experience in a lot of ways.
Well, that's awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about what you all are doing now, about what's going on. I know, Mark, you just graduated BSK, and are pastoring a church here. So tell us a little bit about all this stuff.
Yeah, I'll be graduating next month with my MDiv, and for almost 3 years now, I've been interim pastor at a small Disciples of Christ congregation just east of Georgetown, Newtown Christian Church. And so that's been a definite learning experience, trying to navigate the challenges of the pandemic. That has pushed us and stretched us in ways, and we've learned a lot of things, but I think we've grown through that experience. I think we've made connections that we otherwise wouldn't have made. For example, I'll just give you one example. There was a time starting last fall through Palm Sunday where we were doing our services online via Zoom. And just on Easter Sunday, we came back in person because we're kind of a small congregation with a fairly large sanctuary. So it's pretty easy for us to distance and keep the masks on and so on. But while we were on Zoom, there was somebody who had been placed at the Georgetown Scott County Airport for a job, and he happened to be driving into Georgetown and saw Newtown Christian Church, which is right there on 460, and that struck him for one reason or another. Then he looked up the church's website, and he saw that we had Zoom worship, and he signed on. And anyway, now he's in North Carolina, but he still connects with our congregation each Sunday via Zoom. So it's kind of amazing that this little mostly rural congregation is extending its reach a little bit across state lines.
That's awesome.
So we've tried to hang in there, tried to survive, tried to be creative to maintain community through the pandemic, and I'm sure you well know what that's like, and the challenges and the stresses that brings. But there have been good things, surprising things, new things to come out of that.
Yeah, it's amazing how beautiful things can happen in the midst of this. We think, oh, this is horrible. This is not ideal by any means. But there's little kind of bright spots that keep on popping up, ways that other ways we're able to connect too. So, well, yeah, and that has to be this constant trying to figure out, what does ministry look like today at this stage of where we're at right now? And I'm sure it's not just ministry; it's all jobs. What does this look like today? So,
and you might mean literally today.
Exactly. Yeah.
As opposed to yesterday.
I know, and it's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be different too. So yeah. So, well, Lucy, tell us a little bit about you and about what you've been doing.
Okay. Well, I'm a stay-at-home mom right now, and so I think kind of what's kept me going the past year during the pandemic has been doing better meal planning. That's given me a real sense of control. I think just feeling in my head, I don't get to the end of the day and panic because I don't know what we're going to have, and somehow that's just kind of stabilized me, and I've enjoyed that. And then just keeping the house up. I really love doing that and fixing things. That I've always enjoyed that. I love hardware stores, and So just anything I can fix, it makes me feel so good to get something working again. And
yeah, how did your tile project come out? Because you'd asked about you were fixing fixing some tile.
That's fine. It's fixed, so that was good. And
that's awesome.
Finally got that done. Yeah.
Lucy's got a frequent customer membership at Chevy Chase Hardware.
Yeah. So I just enjoy getting stuff working. And yesterday and a couple days ago, I fixed a couple of old kitchen drawers. Like I said, it's the house where Mark grew up, and they had these couple of drawers. You pull them out, and they just kind of fall out in your hands. And so had to get the track out and take it out. And his dad had an anvil, and actually, I never thought I would actually use it, but I used it to beat on the track to bend it so the wheel would stay in there. And so anyway, just stuff like that. I really enjoy
awesome.
it. Yeah.
Actually, I was trying to do the same thing the other day, and I did not fix it very well. So, do you mind if I bring this by for you to fix correctly? Because Melissa was like, it's not great, and that was kind, because it's not good at all. Oh, that's great. Well, now you've also been doing some writing, right?
I did a little bit. Yeah, I've done a little bit, and the paper last year started doing a really nice uplift section, the local paper Herald Leader, and they would print these little what do you call them? Just parts at the bottom, or just tiny love stories at the bottom. 4 of those. Were you going to talk about this, or okay? Sure. And anyway, they had to be 100 words or less, and they were from all over the country, and those were by the New York Times. And so I'd kind of been thinking those were neat all along. I really enjoyed reading those every week, and I finally, one day I was running or walking or something, and came up with an idea in my head to write one of those. And so I worked on it for several days and submitted it. And I don't know, the Herald Leader never printed it, but I don't know how they were working. If it got printed somewhere else across the country, I have no idea how they did that. So, but that was kind of therapeutic to actually write it and to work on it and get it down in words. And Mark liked it. So
yeah, well, that's awesome. That is wonderful. Yeah, it's amazing how these little things that sometimes were chores can really, when we actually take the time to focus on what they are, how they can really become helpful and centering. We got to take stock of what we're doing. Yeah.
It was more therapeutic in a way than I had even realized, because I can tell you what it was about. It was about how I would find little grocery lists, bits of grocery lists in different places in our bedroom or in my purse, and I would find little notes that I would write to Mark because he shops, and it just realizing what all that kind of culminated in was kind of little love notes to my family, not just scraps of paper that would be refuse. And so it just, when it all came together in my head, I thought, well, I'm going to write about that. So I did.
That's beautiful. Oh, wow, that's wonderful. Well, we'd love to hear that sometime too. So that is awesome. And what a beautiful thought about how those things are really are signals of our love, like real actionable love, to each other. That is great. Well, tell us a little bit. I mean, we've kind of gone around about all this already, but tell us a little bit about some of your hobbies, pastimes, and things like that you all been doing.
Well, we both like to run. Lucy has been able to keep up with that better than I have lately, because my aging left knee keeps sporadically giving me trouble. So the last couple of weeks I haven't been running. But Lucy's been really diligent.
I have a schedule. I do.
About that.
Yeah, 15 miles a week. And so
Whoa.
that keeps me sane.
But it's also, it's one thing I've noticed since the pandemic began is how many more people it seems like are outside. And we live on this rural dead-end road. It dead ends at Boone Creek at the Fayette-Clark County line. And there are just so many people even now from this whole area that'll come and they'll walk down our road, or they'll walk a dog down our road, or like a family will run down our road. So it's kind of interesting how there's a little bit more of a sense of community, I think.
There is. We've met people and neighbors, and we have things in common with them we didn't realize, just people who live really close to us. So it's been really great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then, of course, our son Canaan likes to run, and that's just, that special joy you have as a parent when you see your child doing something that they love.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just really great to be able to participate in what he's doing vicariously.
It's a real joy to watch him run, and other kids too, and to be
His
so
teammates.
thankful that they can get out there and do this and have a track season and be together. And we have so much to be thankful for, despite all the negatives in the world.
Yeah, that is wonderful. And hey, a good sport to do during the pandemic, where you can
naturally distanced.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be non-contact anyway.
Right. Well, you hope, Oh, that's great. Well, how did you find things kind of changed for you since we had to distance? I mean, were there what was the kind of maybe the difficulties that you found, or the things that were hard to get used to as we had to kind of distance and stay away?
Well, I think, were you getting ready to speak?
Go ahead.
Normally we go down to visit my brother in the summer, and would have done that last summer, but we just couldn't do it. And then my dad had turned 90 a year ago last May, and we just had to miss that birthday party because we didn't feel like it was safe. We weren't supposed to cross state lines then, I think. And so we're going to go down for his 91st, which would be really joyful. But that was difficult. And my brother has a pool, and so Canaan really missed, not being able to just play in the pool, hang out in the pool and swim. And then I think also the schooling from home, that was something that, it just kept going on and on and on. We realized the need for it, but that was a change and hard to deal with. And also, since we're out in the country, we're a little more isolated, so didn't have neighbor kids to talk to over the fence, excuse me, or anything like that. So.
Yeah.
And is the assignment turned in? Submitted it. The teacher says they didn't get it. It's like,
yeah. I think Aaron heard me and Thursday. Oops, watch out for that. Thursdays we'll talk about.
We live in a dangerous home.
The electronic age of where something's supposed to get turned in, but it goes to who knows where. And anyway, but things are better now. You can.
Well, I had a weird experience. I'm graduating this May, but I actually finished up my coursework at BSK last fall. But it was just the weirdest semester I've ever experienced, student or teacher or otherwise. I don't know how to describe it. I don't even know how to put it into words. It's like there was this fog around everything. And it was so hard to get motivated sometimes. Just so hard to see where things were going to go. So I don't know. I've just been thinking about how I can't even really put into words really what it's been like to go through this pandemic, because I think we'll as we get hopefully begin emerging out of it and then looking back, we might get some perspective on what's really happened.
Yeah.
But it's sometimes hard, I think, as you're experiencing it, to really even understand what's going on while it's happening. And there's been so much craziness. I mean, just
sheer craziness
with all the politicization of things, and I don't know.
I think too, what we used to take for granted, just going to sit in a restaurant with other people, it seems like now that's such a joyful thing to look forward to that, we're not doing it yet. But, just all these little things that about our everyday life that we used to never give a thought to. And really looking forward to doing those again.
But that's one way I think we've coped as a family. I think we've grown a lot closer as a family, Lucy and Kanan and I. Like Lucy mentioned, we generally still don't eat out in the restaurant, but we'll go pick it up to go. And then a lot of times after we finish eating in the truck, we'll ask Kanan, hey, you want to go for a scenic drive? And then he'll say,
fun.
yeah, why don't we go, let's go check out this road, or we'll go drive down some country road, or we'll drive through some neighborhood in Lexington.
So he picks a route and we go.
Been in before. Yeah. And so that's travel for us now.
Yeah.
Right.
Just on a much more local level, but
yeah,
it's fun. It brings us together.
Yeah. Things that you would never do otherwise can seem like really fun and amazing, and you can experience the wonder of that too. That's great. Well, is there those are some bright spots. Are there any other bright spots that you all have experienced during this time?
I think again, just things we've done as a family.
Yeah.
Like I think we played more games together. Back last summer, when there were a lot more visible protests going on, we made a habit of watching a number of documentaries or movies that dealt with racial injustice. Sometimes Kanan would find those, and we'd sit down and watch those as a family together. Just really simple things like that we've done at home, that we had time for it now.
Yeah.
We're not rushing around all over the place. So it's been, that's one of the really meaningful things for me that's grown out of this, is I feel like we've really come closer together through the experience.
Yeah. That's wonderful. Yeah. I hope maybe we can latch on to a little bit of that slower pace. If it's been, I don't know, it's not been slower for everybody. So it's been slower for some.
Yeah.
But maybe we can find some, as a society, it would be nice to find some margins in our life, a little extra space for people. So, well, did y'all have any? We had talked about maybe a devotional thought or something like that to share.
I have this little scripture stone that I got at the Abbey of Gethsemane. Well, Mark, actually, I kind of picked it out and said, give this to me.
Stocking stuffer.
It was a stocking stuffer, but I picked it out and said, stuck it with that. And it says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And it's my favorite verse, from Philippians. So I kind of, sometimes I have it on the windowsill in the kitchen, and sometimes when I'm running, it's a little mantra that goes through my head. I just really like that verse because I feel like it just gives me strength and gets me through the day sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, that's great to remember. Yeah. And a good physical representation of it too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
We both thought of the same poem. It's a Wendell Berry poem. It's kind of a long poem, so I don't know if we have time to read it all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can read it.
It's called Creation Myth. And it's been a really special poem to both of us for a number of years now. And it's something, I don't know about Lucy, but it's something I kind of come back to periodically for different reasons and different settings. But Creation Myth by Wendell Berry. This is a story handed down. It's about the old days when Bill and Florence and a lot of their kin lived in a little tin-roofed house beside the woods, below the hill. Mornings, they went up the hill to work, Florence to the house, the men and boys to the field. Evenings, they all came home again. There would be talk then and laughter and taking of ease around the porch while the summer night closed. But one night, McKinley, Bill's young brother, stayed away late, and it was dark when he started down the hill. Not a star shone, not a window. What he was going down into was the dark, only his footsteps sounding to prove he trod the ground. And Bill, who had got up to cool himself, thinking and smoking, leaning on the jamb of the open front door, heard McKinley coming down and heard his steps beat faster as he came. For McKinley felt the pasture's darkness, joined to all the rest of darkness everywhere. It touched the depths of woods and sky and grave. In that huge dark, things that usually stayed put might get around as fish in pond or slough get loose in flood. Oh, things could be coming close that never had come close before. He missed the house and went on down and crossed the draw and pounded on where the pasture widened on the other side. Lost then for sure. Propped in the door, Bill heard him circling, a dark star in the dark, breathing hard, his feet blind on the little reality that was left. Amused, Bill smoked his smoke and listened. He knew where McKinley was, though McKinley didn't. Bill smiled in the darkness to himself and let McKinley run until his steps approached something really to fear, the quarry pool. Bill quit his pipe then, opened the screen, and stepped out barefoot on the warm boards. "McKinley," he said, and laid the field out clear under McKinley's feet and placed the map of it in his head. Creation myth.
Wow. That is gorgeous. I don't think I've heard that one before. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I don't even know what to say about it. I think that's a good poem. So many things. Oh, that's beautiful.
Well, it makes me think, a lot of things, but, one is in the beginning was the Word. And the way knowing somebody's name and calling somebody's name can be an act of love, like the ultimate act of love.
Yeah. That's beautiful. And it feels very timely for now.
Yeah.
As we all may find ourselves feeling somewhat in the dark, or maybe very in the dark.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And it has been such a joy to get to talk with you all today.
Aaron, it's always a joy to talk to you.
It is. It's always good to talk with you.
Well, I feel like there's so many more things we could have gotten into, and I wish we had time for it. So we'll have to get back, because we didn't even get into all your travels abroad. I think we could do a whole time just with your travels and your journeys, and where you've been to. But I'm so glad that your journey has come back to Central, and that we get to be part of this leg of your journey too. So thank you all so much, and it's so great to get to know you all and to know Canaan too, and we're so grateful that you're part of our Central family.
We are too.
We are too. We love you all and care for you very much.
Yeah, we do, and we're looking forward to being back in person at some point. See everybody. Yeah.
And I've stopped guessing about when that's going to be, but
it'll happen in the right time.
It will. Well, thank you all so much, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks,
right,
Aaron.
Thanks,
Okay.
Aaron.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks again, Lucy and Mark, for taking time out to share with us. It really was a joy to get to talk with you all and to get to see you, to get to hear about your story, about how you have kind of made your way to Central a couple of times now, and we are so grateful that you're a part of our Central family. Before we go, let's sing a song together. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Amen. Thanks so much for being here with us tonight. We're so glad that you have joined us this evening, that we could all have a chance to be together again, even though we're distanced. If you'd like to find out more about what's going on at Central, go to our website and sign up for our newsletter there. Or you can find that at lexcentral.com/newsletter. And we'll keep you up to date with everything that's going on. You'll find in the newsletter as it comes out on Tuesday it came out, and tomorrow as it comes out, you'll find a Zoom link at the top so that you can join us tomorrow evening for our Central Travels group that will be meeting over Zoom as we hear from Susan Wagner and about her trip to South Africa. So we're excited to hear that tomorrow night. You'll also find other groups that are meeting. If you go to our website or at the top of the email, click on Zoom groups, and you can find links for Sunday school classes, for Thursday school classes, for other things that are going on, for baby boomers that's meeting as well. Find links for all those things so that you can join us and connect in other ways too. Thanks again for being here this evening, and we'll see you again on Sunday. Go in peace.